Okay, time for round 17. Before we get started, I want you to make sure you weave your ends in. Weave your ends in before you attach your mandala to the hoop. Trust me on this, I tried it. It is not fun to weave your ends in after the mandala is attached. So stop now, weave them in if you need to, and then let's get started on round 17. For this round, I am using the color silver. Okay, so we're going to start in the same stitch. Same line of stitches going up from one of these picots. Follow the post stitches straight up and work into the single crochet immediately after it. Or if you're using the same yarn from the last round, just chain one and single crochet in the first stitch, or the same stitch as the join, really. My join is in that one actually, so let's see. I'm going to make a standing single crochet in that stitch, and then I'm going to make 8 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8. There we go. Okay, the next stitch should be this front post double crochet, the one that comes straight up from the middle of these trebles down here. Okay. This is the first stitch we're going to attach to the hoop. Now to do this, we're going to make a single crochet into this front post double crochet and around the hoop together. I'm going to show you how to do that. Ready? First, insert your hook into the top 2 loops of that front post double crochet. Now keep your work and your working yarn in front of your hoop, but pick your hoop up and put your hook behind it so that you can yarn over from behind the hoop. See, it's going over the front of my hoop. Oh, sorry. See, it's going over the front of my hoop, and grab the yarn and pull it under the hoop. Okay, then pull that yarn through the front of the stitch. Okay, or well, through the back of the stitch. So now you have 2 loops on your hook. Now bring your yarn in front of your hoop to yarn over in front of the hoop and pull that through the 2 loops on your hook. That is a single crochet into the stitch and around the hoop at the same time. Okay, now the next stitch can be a little tricky because it is attached to the hoop, so single crochet in the next 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, now the next stitch should be this front post double crochet, the one that comes straight up from the picot. Now we're going to attach it to the hoop again. Insert your hook under the top 2 loops of that stitch, and then grab your hoop with your working yarn in front of your hoop. Put your hook behind the hoop to yarn over and pull that back through the stitch so that you have 2 loops on your hook. Now from in front of the hoop, yarn over and pull that through the 2 loops on your hook. Make sure and keep your tension tight the whole time. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 9 stitches. This can be kind of tricky with the hoop attached, so just go slow and, angle your hook however you need to. Move that hoop however you need to. Okay, so after the 9 stitches, we come to another front post double, the one that goes straight down through these trebles. So those are the ones we're always going to work into when we join the hoop. The one that goes straight down to this treble and the one that goes straight down to the picot. Okay, so insert your hook into the top 2 loops of that treble. Not treble, but double, front post double. Keep your working yarn in front of the hoop, but insert your hook behind the hoop to yarn over and pull up a loop through the front post double crochet. Bring your yarn around and yarn over in front of the hoop and pull that through the 2 loops on your hook. Okay, now 9 more single crochets. Okay, so after our 9 single crochets, we're back at the front post double crochet that goes down into a picot. Okay, so let's do this again. Insert your hook under the top 2 loops. Then, with your working yarn in front of your hoop, pick up your hoop, put your hook behind the hoop to yarn over, and pull that in front. Pull that through the top 2 loops of the front post double crochet. Keep everything really tight. Then, bring your working yarn from behind your hoop, yarn over in front of the hoop, and pull that through the 2 loops on your hook. Okay, now 9 more single crochets. Okay, now untangle my yarn. Okay, now we're going to attach from the next front post double crochet, attach that to the hoop like we did before, and then again 9 single crochets attached to hoop, 9 single crochets attached to hoop. Okay, go ahead and do that. I will fast forward through this part until I start getting, until my mandala starts getting a little bit tight on the hoop, and then I will show you how it goes from there. Okay, things are starting to get a little bit tight now, so I find it helps if you kind of scooch your mandala around so that it's a little closer to how it will be in the end. And then as it gets tighter, it gets harder to work that first single crochet. So just go as slow as you need to get those single crochets going. Alright, and when it gets tight, you can use the tension of your stitch. Use your yarn hand to pull that stitch tight, and that will help stretch your mandala out. Keep the tension nice and tight in your yarn hand the whole time. That really helps. adjust your mandala so that it's not too tight for where you're working as you go. Okay, again, I'm going to use the tension of the yarn to pull that tight. Really rely on your hook here to pull that yarn through for you and to get into awkward angles. I do think this is a little bit easier when you're not working on a table. It's a little easier when you have an open lap so that your hoop can go in whatever angle you need it to. So you might find you don't struggle quite as much as it looks like I am struggling right now. Also, it definitely gets easier the more of these you do. So if you're planning on doing more than one, plan on it getting easier. Maybe not super easy, but easier. Okay. Some wiggle room here. Okay. Alright, the last few attachments are the trickiest because everything is really tight. Alright, last one. Now what I should do is make sure. Yeah, it's looking pretty much stretched out. Almost there. Okay, last one. Surprisingly, the last one is not that hard compared to the single crochets anyway. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my yarn to do an invisible join, but I'm going to hold it because I don't want it to, I don't want my stitch to come loose. So I'm going to hold this yarn. Actually, it's holding itself pretty well. If it starts to come loose, I'm going to hold it taut to discourage it from getting loose. Okay, so now I'm going to find the second single crochet to go under that. Oh, sorry. Alright, then this one is a little different because that single crochet normally you would go back through the top is a little stretched out. You can't really see the top, so let's just kind of go. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. It's just bent forward a lot. Okay, there we go. So you can't even see the join now. Flip this over and weave these ends in right away. Not worried about going under very many stitches, but I do want to go under a few stitches and then go back the other way. Loop it around one loop of yarn and go back the other way just so it's nice and secure. So my invisible join is nice and secure. And then let's weave the other end in to make sure the invisible join is tight both directions. Oh, see, you can see why you do not want to do this after you have attached your work to the hoop. It becomes tricky. Okay, just a few more this way. I forgot how hard this was. Okay, that's good that way. Okay, there we go. So that's it. Weave in those last two ends and ta-da! Your mandala is completely finished. Just go ahead and scooch these stitches around so that they're even. And that's it. That's how you attach your mandala. Alright, that is it. We are done with our crochet along. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I hope that you love what you made and that you will join me for the next crochet along. Stay tuned for that. Please follow me here on YouTube on Every Trick on the Hook or on Facebook, Every Trick on the Hook. You can join the Polyplum Pattern Posse, the Facebook group, or follow me on Instagram, Polyplum Crochet. Thank you so much for following along with me. Hope you loved it.